Are joined by Kim Fournais, CEO of Saxo Bank. Good to have you in with us, Kim. Let's first talk about, the macro investment trends in the region amid this high inflation, high interest rate environment.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of things are happening in this world for sure, and I don't think that inflation is over. And we're seeing salary rises, even though Fed didn't raise here lately, I think there's probably another raise in the making. If you think about places like Japan, for example, it's becoming more hawkish, but also there's a huge amount of debt, and it's already, I think, close to 20% of GDP just servicing that debt. So actually, higher interest rates will be difficult, but on the other hand, you have to tame inflation and so forth. So I think that lots of stuff is going on. In China, of course, there's a very big real estate sector that is under significant pressure. There's a big shadow banking component, which is around 30% of, or the real estate sector is 30% of GDP, and a 3 trillion outside banking sector that is obviously putting a lot of pressure on everything. So I think we're in for some fun, or maybe not necessarily fun, but some turbulence in the coming time.
Zooming into the Fed rate decision that was just released this morning, so it's looking at higher for longer, and also it says that there will be one more hike before the end of the year. How is this sort of environment shaping the sort of investment trends that you're expecting to see?
Well, I mean, we have very, very huge debt burdens across the board, and obviously it gets more difficult to service debt when it gets higher. And a lot of this needs to be rolled on a continuous basis, so it gets refinanced now at much higher rates, which of course will take liquidity and money out of the system. At the same time, we have stock markets that are in US, close to all-time highs. And I don't think necessarily that goes well hand in hand together. So I think again there could be some more turmoil, but of course also now people are beginning to get better interest rates, and if they're lucky enough to work in a bank that will pass that on to depositors, and the fixed income markets are giving a better return now. On the other hand, I think that equities that have in US primarily been driven by the tech sector, which is highly interest rate sensitive. I think that everyone now believes that it's all over, and I'm not sure it's going to be over that fast. I think that it may be higher for longer.
At the same time, what sort of risks are you anticipating as we enter Q4?
Well, I think right now, actually, things are remarkably stable, but it's also clear that liquidity, especially in the fixed income markets, are not as great as they have been. And a lot of refinancing needs to happen. So I think that could create some turmoil, which again could infect other markets like equities and so forth. So again, I think it remains to be seen. I just think that you've stretched out the rubber bands quite a bit, and I think that sometimes that they break or they have to come in again, right? So I think that there's some turmoil waiting for us.
But are there any bright spots? I think you've identified.
Yeah, I think that in general, we're seeing technology development going really fast. I think that of course we are living in a time where there's a lot of geopolitical tensions, there are climate tensions, there's the whole interest rate and so forth. But I think in general, we do quite well as humans, right? I mean, we tend to see progress and technological development, and I think that there are always solutions to the problems, and I think we will see solutions to these ones as well. So I think that it is human nature to be under stress and then find ways out of it, and I'm sure that's going to happen as well today. But there will be different problems to tackle, and that of course leaves opportunity also to the people who tackles them, whether that's climate or there's so many things happening now also within health and so forth that I think there are many good opportunities as well. So I think there are definitely bright spots as well. I'm an optimist. I believe in life and the future of us all, right?
I'd like to get your take on China. I mean, when we talk about bright spots, you don't really think of China at this point. Probably, if you could talk to me about the investment environment, and how would you how Saxo is approaching it?
I think China has done something completely unique over the past many years and taken a lot of people out of poverty into becoming really a strong middle class. Of course, there are some issues now, which is also that I think the geopolitical space is complicated right now, and I don't see so much win-win in that, and I think it's really a problem both for outside China and inside China. And of course there are challenges with huge youth employment, a big shadow banking sector, a big real estate sector, which is 30% of the GDP. But I think maybe also a lot of this is already in the pricing. So there may be some good stuff for people with the risk appetite and the time horizon to make some good deals here as well, right? I think China is very amazing. I just really hope for everyone to be more friendly with each other, and that goes for everyone in the room, I think, right?
And Kim, the last question before we go. Saxo has been in Singapore since 2006. It is what you call your Asia hub. How have your aspirations here changed given the current macroeconomic environment?
Well, aspirations have not changed at all. We are here to work with our clients and partners, and I think we see a good and steady development of that. So for us, it's really all about working and improving our technology, our platforms, our products, our services, our prices to the benefit of the clients. And so that has not changed one bit. I think what of course is changing is the whole competitive environment, the geopolitical environment, but that only makes us reinforce our efforts to really work with the clients, because that's where it all starts. So I think that one of the things that we're beginning to see now is, apart from efficient pricing and being able to allocate your capital in different markets, regions, asset classes, and so forth, it's also about how the service model works, because there's so much information and there are many moving parts. So we've developed a lot of AI and big data, so really trying to change the whole service model. So be what we call timely, relevant, engaging, and actionable. But that also means having a very personalized service, even though you are on a platform. I think people are fed up with being spammed by emails and so forth. So having, what matters to you, when it matters to you, and something that means something to you, that can guide you and make you fulfill your own deep dreams and aspirations, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim, for coming in and sharing your insights with us. Kim Fournais, the CEO of Saxo.